Love is in the air this month, and for some animals, it's a lifetime commitment. We're gonna discover the animals that will find their life partner and stick with them. They'll build homes, raise families, and we're gonna discover which animals are completely Twitter-pated with each other on this episode of Kiki's Fun Animal Countdown.
Number 5.
Our number 5 spot goes to the member of the Canidae family. They are one of the most ubiquitous canines in North America and can sometimes be referred to as the prairie wolf. This is the coyote, also known as Canis latrans, which translates to barking dog. Coyotes are nocturnal hunters. They're also very opportunistic eaters as well. They'll eat anything from insects, mice, rabbits, rodents, squirrels, and if you're not careful, they'll even eat your cats and dogs as well. Their biggest prey, however, is the white-tailed deer. A full-grown coyote can take down a full-grown white-tailed deer. They'll do so by nipping their back legs and their hind quarters until the deer falls down. As soon as the deer falls down, the coyote will bite their throat and suffocate their prey. Due to human encroachment, rising suburbia, and the elimination of predators such as wolves, bears, and mountain lions, coyotes have become one of the largest predators across most of North America. Their adaptability and intelligence has let the coyote survive in all sorts of man-made environments, including cities, towns, villages, all sorts of places. Because of that, human beings have considered the coyote a pest, and they have horrible run-ins with each other, especially when the coyote starts crossing over into farmland. Coyotes, as previously stated, are nocturnal hunters. And if you think you don't live next to some coyotes, if you live in North America, chances are you live next to coyotes. So it is very important to keep your pets indoors and supervised at all times. Coyotes are actually very good for the ecosystem. They help birds of prey, snakes, and red foxes keep the rodent and rabbit population down. And because there are no wolves, bears, or mountain lions across most of North America anymore, coyotes also keep the deer population stable. Coyotes can actually mate with pet dogs. These hybrids are known as coy dogs, but as far as I researched, pet dogs and coyotes don't mate for life. But it's a good idea to keep your dogs inside and supervised at all times, because if the coyote doesn't eat them,
Number 4.
Our number 4 spot is swinging in on us from the highest trees of Laos, Vietnam, and southern China. These crazy primates are screaming for love from the highest branches. These are the White-Cheeked Gibbons, or Nemascus leucogenes. White-Cheeked Gibbons are actually very varied in their appearance. When they're born, the infants are a beige color, and after a year and a half, they turn black with white cheeks. After 5 to 7 years and they reach sexual maturity, the males will remain their black with the white cheeks, where the females will return to their original beige color. This is what's known as sexual dichromacism.
Gibbons are adapted for an arboreal lifestyle. They use a specialized mode of moving known as brachiation. They will swing through the trees hand over hand, and that is their main method of movement. They will have an unusually erect posture, but are never seen moving on all fours. When and if they move bipedally, they'll lift their arms over their heads for balance. Accidents do happen sometimes, and it is common to find healed bones in fractures of wild gibbons.
These guys will mate for life. White-cheeked gibbons are one of 6% of primates that will stick with their same mate. They'll mate throughout the year, and females will be pregnant for 7 months and give birth to 1 baby. That baby won't be weaned for 2 years. Unlike most mammals, the white-cheeked gibbons will actually share baby raising responsibilities with their mates. After 5 to 7 years, the baby is sexually mature and can go off to find their own way. A wild gibbon can live for 26 years.
They actually have the same niche in the wild as white-tailed deer, squirrels, emus, kangaroos, and other seed-dispersing animals. The primates will eat leaves, fruits, and insects, and when they'll leave those seeds in their droppings, which then fertilize and grow more trees, plants, and foliage.
Unfortunately, due to hunting and habitat loss, white-cheeked gibbons are considered critically endangered. Now, if you want to help these guys, make sure that you get wood for your next home project from FSC sponsored distributors.
Number 3.
Our number 3 spot is known for hunting at night and stalking on silent wings. These guys have been thought to be ghosts way back in the day, but a family of 4 can keep 1,000 rodents away for 4 months. This is the Tyto alba, or the barn owl. Now, if you look for a barn owl in your yard, don't listen to the traditional hoo-hoo. Barn owls have an eerie, raspy call that sounds something like this. That's pretty scary if you've never seen a barn owl before and you heard that screeching in the middle of the night. Owls, they eat their prey whole or in pieces. What they'll do is they'll regurgitate the parts of the prey that are not digestible, like fur, bones, and feathers. Owls still have bowel movements, but it is interesting to note that aside from the ostrich, birds do not have bladders. Now, unfortunately, the barn owls are in decline. This is due to human encroachment, such as shooting and trapping. Also, the barn owls do have a slew of predators themselves, such as possums, raccoons, other birds of prey, including the red-tailed hawk. They also get in trouble with parasites as well, including feather mites, feather lice, bloodworms, roundworms, ringworms, and blood-sucking flies. A wild barn owl's lifespan is 2 to 6 years, but in managed care, they can live to be 15.
Barn owls, of course, will mate for life. Males will do a flight dance to impress the female, and he'll even feed her. If they do mate, the female will lay 3 to 8 eggs and incubate them while the male brings her food. When the owlets are born, mom stays and dad brings home the bacon. Owlets will start to fly a little before 2 months after hatching. A mating pair can have 2 to 3 broods a year. If you want a breeding pair of barn owls where you live, if they live there, then you can even build an owl-specific birdhouse. The link is in the description, and they'll even help keep the mice out of your pantry. When you hunt at night, you have to depend on being silent. Barn owls have exceptional hearing and can grab a mouse in complete darkness. In addition to having amazing hearing, they also have another superpower. When they fly, they are nearly silent. Prey cannot hear the owls fly upon them. According to Audubon.org, owl feathers have a leading edge shaped like a comb and a trailing edge with a fringe. These funnel air smoothly over the wing and dampen the sound. An owl's enormous wings relative to its body size also provide greater lift and enable them to fly slowly, as few as 2 miles an hour. Number 2.
Our number 2 spot is howling their way onto our list. They're very popular as favorite animals and for wonderful reasons. They're resourceful, they're great for the ecosystem, and they're very beautiful creatures. This is the gray wolf, also known as Canis lupus. Wolves are the largest of the extant canines. They used to be common in the lower 48 states. As gray wolves are the most common of the wolf species, they're found all over the northern hemisphere, including United States, Canada, Russia, Europe, and Asia. Sadly though, wolves do have a bad reputation from humans who systematically trapped them, shot them, hunted them, and poisoned them. Wolves rarely attack human beings unprovoked, but unfortunately they do attack domesticated animals and livestock, which put them in human crosshairs. Your pug and your Boston Terrier, and maybe even your Peruvian Incan orchid dog may not look like a wolf, but if you trace their heritage back far enough, very far enough, you'll see that your dog that's sitting on your lap and lying on your bed are actually descendants of wolves. Scientists can't really agree with each other on how they were domesticated, but some say that they were domesticated 40,000 years ago. Others speculate that they were domesticated more than once, and others say that they just domesticated themselves. But either way, your pet dog's scientific name is Canis lupus familiaris, which means that your dog is a subspecies of a wolf. So make sure you give your tamed wolf child some extra treats tonight.
Wolves live in packs. Each pack has a number of 6 to 10 wolves, and some even have more. The pack is led by an alpha breeding pair, and they are the only ones who can breed. Wolf alphas mate for life, and they both establish dominance over the subordinate wolves. The female helps to take care of the pups and make sure the other wolves are in line, where the male helps to hunt and establish protection from dangers of the pack. All members of the pack will hunt together during the winter, but summer hunts are sometimes done alone. Wolves are very popular in human history, whether it's the origin of our pet dog or with the stories of the big bad wolf who tricks little girls and eats little old ladies. The wolf has been the bad guy of many stories, from Gilgamesh to werewolves to the Christian Bible to Aesop's fables and grim fairy tales. Wolves just get a bad rep. In some cultures, however, wolves are the protectors of crops, like in Japan, or they're represented as a cardinal direction west for some Native American cultures, and a wolf mothered Romulus and Remus, who later went on to found the city of Rome. In Yellowstone National Park, studies were done on the effect the wolves have on the ecosystem, and the results were astounding. They found that many animals, including ravens, foxes, coyotes, eagles, and bears, benefit from wolves because they feed on carcasses killed by the packs. Coyote numbers have declined in wolf areas due to wolves seeing them as competition, and elk even changed their behavior to avoid wolves. This behavior has allowed many trees and plant life to regrow, which provides food for beavers, muskrats, and more, and even allowed for more habitats for songbirds. This all started changing the way even rivers ran through the valleys. Wolves have been responsible for rivers changing paths. And number 1.
Our number 1 spot is usually the symbol of love. They're on top of wedding cakes, anniversary cards, my last name, and even on jewelry as well. But as beautiful as they are, they even have a dark side to them as well. This is our number 1 lovey-dovey animal, the swan.
Swans, or Cygnus, are the largest member of the Anatidae family. This family includes ducks and geese. There are 7 different swan species. Male swans are called cobs and females are called pens. Babies are called cygnets. They're known for being graceful in both water and air. By 1933, there were fewer than 70 wild trumpeter swans. Extinction seemed imminent until aerial surveys discovered a Pacific population of several thousand trumpeters around Alaska's Copper River. By then, careful reintroductions by wildlife agencies and the Trumpeter Swan Society, they helped restore the North American wild population to over 46,000 by 2010. Trumpeter swans, or Cygnus buccinator, is the largest extant species of waterfowl with a wingspan that may exceed up to 10 feet. The trumpeter swan's scientific name, Cygnus buccinator, is from the Latin cygnus, which means swan, and buccinare, which means to trumpet. We humans have a buccinator muscle in our cheeks, which we use to blow out candles and to blow into trumpets and other instruments. When swans want to court each other, they'll swim up to each other face first, they'll ruffle their feathers, and that is when they'll bow gracefully, making that famous heart shape with their necks. For swans, the benefits of staying together forever are greater than anything they could gain by switching up mates every year. The bonded pair will raise a clutch after clutch of cygnets in their lifetime because they learn from their parenting successes and their parenting failures each time. In 2012, in Phillip Park, Illinois, a man named Tony Hensley was kayaking in a pond when he was attacked by a mute swan. The swan was defending his territory when he tipped Mr. Hensley's kayak over and continuously attacked him. Sadly, Mr. Hensley succumbed to hypothermia and eventually drowned due to the swan not letting up. Swans are very territorial, and it is always best to stay clear of wild birds in general.
Well, I'm really glad that you joined us to learn more facts about lovey-dovey animals. If you learned something today, or if you want to learn more, make sure you leave a like, a comment, and subscribe. Now, if you want to learn more about animals, make sure you share this video to all your friends who also want to learn about animals as well. So stay tuned for next time's episode, and we'll see you next time on Kiki's Fun Animal Facts. Bye!
We still have to do the closure.
Red tail, pull back to you.
Now, unfortunately, the
Honk.